So, Susie,
Yep.
would you ever be down for a slasher sleep out?
Shit, that's every day of my life, bitch.
Not surprised.
God.
Bienvenidos, Fright fans, and welcome to the horror show. I'm Jaime and Fuego.
I'm Susie.
I'm Marcia, and today we are doing another Patreon, and this is a poll winner.
Congrats.
Yeah, for Ruin Me.
Ruin me.
Yikes.
I'll ruin you.
Pay me enough?
Many a woman has.
Anyway, we are derailing.
Yes, we are.
So,
do you want me to I'll go over the story of Ruin Me. So we start off, we have a group of people who are gathered together at a gas station. A couple goths, a couple normals, and a couple weirdos. And the two weirdos don't come together, but you know, you got the really tough guy that doesn't really say much, and then you have the super geek who seems socially awkward. And
the escape room savant.
Yeah. He's done it
lives for them
many times.
Yeah.
So they're all gathering together to do what they call a slasher sleepaway camp. So they're supposed to show up and they get transported to the woods in the middle of nowhere, and they're supposed to follow the clues in order to solve the overarching story.
Totally getting a clue.
I'm getting
got
a
a
raging
clue
glow.
for and so we learn off right off the bat, like the couple. The girl wasn't originally supposed to go. The boyfriend dragged her along when his friend canceled.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had the goth couple. One who's like super into himself and the experience, and then the catty girlfriend who seems really sexualized for some reason.
What goth girl isn't?
Yeah, and so the really creepy guy shows up, and they make some really bad, jokes about the rape band that he shows up in, and he seems really aggressive. He takes all their phones, and then tells them they can't take any of their bags or whatever, and then they drop them off. When they get there, they all get their designated bag that has some stuff is the same, and then they all have a special item that they have to use to play the game. And that's where it starts off, and they go through the hike of the woods, and they start to see, like at the first checkpoint, there was a clue that they had to figure out, and right off the bat, the girl that wasn't even supposed to be there figures it out before anybody else. And makes it
supposed to be here.
Yeah, no, I'm supposed to be here, but look at me roll.
Yeah,
right. Look at me rolling.
Yeah. So, they open it up, and, I can't remember, was it just, like, fake blood, or what was in the chest? I can't remember. Gun or something.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they leave it ambiguous enough, I suppose. But, I mean, overall impressions with this sort of setup, and with the fact that they brought some comedy into the fold, at least for the first, like, third to, like, half of the film, they kept it a little more lighthearted, and the story does take quite a turn about halfway and gets much more on the serious side of things. I mean, there's still a retention of humor, but it's nothing like the initial vibe. And so some people really like that. Some people weren't as hot on it. If we're going to do overall impressions with just that little synopsis, I do feel like that's what set it apart from the rest of the pack was the way they tackled the second half of the film. I can't say I particularly liked it. I was more amused by the stereotypes in the first half, but it's easy to compare something like this with the approach to, the final girls, and to even a little bit of maybe I'm the killer or I'm not the killer, whichever one that was, with Willow and Homeboy from Cabin in the Woods, which was really good.
Maybe you are the killer or something.
You would, yeah. It's another Shudder film. This is on Shudder right now if you have any interest in checking it out. But I can't say that I was over the moon for it. I had some problems with the scripting here and there. But as a whole, it's not. I've seen much worse, and Preston DeFrancis does have enough interesting ideas here and there to. I think some may like this a lot more than me. So what about you girls? Susie?
Meh. I thought it was okay. Like, it was not making sense.
On a Cecil.
It wasn't making sense, like, she wasn't supposed to be there, but then everything was, like...
geared about her.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm like, I, didn't care enough to see, but then, you know, you guys paid us, so we gotta watch it.
Well, there's an angle with her that we can't divulge without spoiling things too. It becomes a really big plot point and a crux for the back half of the storytelling. So.
Right. So I mean, it was all right. I wasn't overly impressed with it.
Were you offended by the god stereotypes?
Oh my god. That was just so fucking stupid. It was so fucking stupid. Like, yeah, that's how you guys see us, isn't it? That is. It totally is, huh? It's not. So fuck you.
So I thought the idea was interesting, and I feel like it was a solid idea, but the carry through was not that great. And I don't think it was thought out all the way, and especially towards the end, it was kind of like, to what happened? Like,
yeah,
what? Like, that did like a super dark turn really fast. Like, the whole movie felt a little like lighthearted and kind of like, okay, we're not taking ourselves too seriously, and then, you know, you're like, okay, like, I'm good with that, and then the very end, you're just like, whoa, that got dark. And I wasn't expecting it, and so it's like,
yeah,
what are you trying to accomplish with this movie? You know, it felt like there was just a big disconnect.
Yeah.
The acting wasn't, and I'm just going to go into
that. It's a good segue into that.
Yeah, the acting was not that great. And I want to blame the dialogue, but I think even if the dialogue was better, and I'm sorry, but the actors weren't there. They weren't there. They didn't.
I was being sold.
Yeah, they didn't sell the situation. They felt really like it was really campy.
Yeah, and that's the problem though, is that the delivery was so hammy early on that when they tried to get super, super serious, you almost didn't have that same emotional reaction to the super seriousness because they went so campy early on. And I know it's a tough balancing, you know, process of tone in that situation, but I don't know, this is the first time director, and the more seasoned filmmakers and, you know, script writers will be able to direct their actors to balance that tone a little better, straddle that line, and just ride the different, and
straddle it and ride it.
Yeah. Both.
Anyway.
I choose both. but yeah, I was not blown away by the acting. I did think that the lead had a couple scenes where she sold it the most. She had the most of the emotional aspect to carry, with the exception of one other character, which you hinted at the change in the craziness and stuff. But yeah, I mean, if we're gonna segue into visuals and, you know, just cinematography and effects and stuff like that, it's not like a really gory movie.
No.
You know, by any way, shape, or form. Decently shot throughout woods and things like that, but obviously, you know, I mean, they're spending the entirety of the time in the forest. Lighting isn't terrible.
Yeah, everything that is effects is practical effects, so.
Yeah, nothing that really wowed in this particular case. Really, the thing that makes this film for me so novel was the drastic change of tone, for better or for worse, in the back half of things. But any other thoughts on look or no kills? Anything that really stood out beyond that?
No. Like I said, I really got behind the idea, and maybe just because I like the idea of going on a slaughter sleepaway trip, because that sounds awesome.
Escape room / haunted house.
And there were times where you really do, and it purposely makes you wonder, like, is this real? Like, is this really happening? Is it being, not just like, is this really happening in real life, or is this part of the game? But it was like, is this in somebody's mind? Is like, and that was interesting. But it's also maybe because of how the editing was done, and the plots weren't really, the information wasn't really revealed in a cohesive way.
Well, that same approach of second guessing is exactly what we saw in Game Night earlier this year, and then also in my personal favorite David Fincher film, like almost 20 years ago, over 20 years ago now, in The Game with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn. I love that movie, and I prefer to watch that. So, there you go.
All right. Well, you know, thanks for at least voting. I don't remember what other movies were up against this one, but
that's Cecil territory, y'all. But Ruin Me was the winner.
And
Damn.
I guess Shudder's the winner since they're the destination everybody's going to watch this. It's a Shudder exclusive.
Yep.
So.
And I had to finally join Shudder, and I'm actually enjoying it though, because there's a few things on there that I can't get anywhere else. So.
Joe Bob, woo!
Anyway,
what? Yeah, sponsor us. Yeah, so if you would like to become one of our awesome Patreons.
Yeah.
Patron.
Yes, and then you can vote for us to watch movies like this one.
Please don't.
No, it's great because we love watching new stuff,
and we love talking shit.
There's so much stuff out there, and
we've seen way worse than this. So,
yeah.
I mean, this isn't, it's not going to blow you away or anything, but it's not going to be an absolute entire waste of time.
Like Eraserhead.
Hey. Hit an acid, glass of wine, your favorite easy chair. God. You'll appreciate that one. Stay tuned for that.
Anyway.
But yeah, if you want to subscribe, if you were seeing this after it's been on Patreon, because these eventually do migrate and make their way to the regular YouTube channel, please, like and share, hit the bell, do that ring-a-ling thing so you can get notifications about all the things that we do, which entail trailer reactions, film reviews like this one, convention coverage, video game let's plays, you name it, everything under the horror umbrella. So until next time, fellow Freak fans, I've been Jaime and Fuego.
I'm Susie Von Slaughter.
And I'm Marcia.
And remember,
stay scared!